Okay, some more graphing concepts. This time I wanted to talk about gradients and the types of gradients there can be. I've set up 4 different lines here. So we'll talk about the diagonal ones first. The blue line here is what's called a positive gradient. So if it's going up, we talk about going from left to right, which is positive, increasing in the x direction. So if it's going up from left to right, it's called a positive gradient. Okay, when you work out the gradient, it will be positive. Okay, so the second one, the yellow line there, it's going down from left to right. It's a negative gradient. What you will see in an equation, if you have a positive gradient, will be, this is not the actual equation for the line, but you might see, we used the example before, y equals 2x plus 3. Okay, so this will be positive. Okay, if that number is positive, then you'll get a line increasing from left to right. If it is negative, okay, so that's a negative there. Alright, again, that's not the equation of that line. Clearly should actually be a negative. Actually, what I will do, it might actually be that. Anyway, it will have a negative gradient. Now, the two other ones here, so there's a vertical line and a horizontal line. I'll talk about the red line first, this one here. This is called a horizontal line, and it has a 0 gradient. So the gradient of this one is equal to 0. Alright, m equals 0. Now, what an equation of this sort of line, so say for example this went through at 4. Okay, so equation of that line, y, it goes through 4, and whatever value x is, doesn't matter what it is, y is always 4. So there is no x variable in this equation, it's simply a y variable, so y equals 4. And the same is true for this x, or this vertical line here. So this green line, this has what's called an undefined gradient. Okay, it doesn't exist. Okay, it's not 0, it just does not exist. Okay, so gradient equals undefined. All right, which is a little bit different. Now, just in way of explaining that, if we were to calculate the gradient of this, you'd have to get your eyes overrun. Okay, now, so say for example, we took 2 points, one here, so that was 5. Sorry, so that's say it goes through here, x equals 6. Okay, so the let's get rid of that 5 there for a second. I wanted to talk about the coordinates of that are 6 and say 5, for example. It actually doesn't matter. So say this will be 6 and -3. Okay, the rise, so it goes from -3 to 5, so that's 8. But the run, so it goes from 6 to 6. It has no run. It's 0. All right, it doesn't actually change in the x direction. So when you try to divide by 0, it can't happen. You can't divide by 0. So that you try to put that in your calculator and you get undefined. Calculator can't stand it. So that's why this has a non-existent or undefined gradient. Okay, that will do.